anything that happened post January 6th is on the hand of those individuals, not only named by the folks you just listed, Proud Boys, whomever, but the members of Congress who have perpetuated this. This is an underground thing that's becoming commonplace.
Our friend John Meacham is still with us. John, let's count it up. Over the weekend, we had a former flag officer of the U.S. military advocating a military coup and then telling us he didn't say what we heard him say. You had Sidney Powell, president's former campaign lawyer, saying that the president could be reinstated. I hope when you and Beschloss write your books about this period, you give the Russians their due, because in our time of social media, they certainly are right there with an assist all the way through for at least the last 5 years. But as much in the firmament of the Republican Party as the conspiracy theories are now, and you drew the comparison to the McCarthy era, how do we then get, and I'll give you the title for your next podcast series, from here to hope?
Well, it begins with these kinds of conversations, and not to be solipsistic about it. It just requires the 81 million people who voted for the president. It requires the people who believe that in a democracy, you go to the people, you make a case, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's fine to be a 51-49 nation, as long as the 49 acknowledge that the 51 actually carried the day. And then you go back and you try to fight it out again. That presumes, however, that politics is a mediation of differences and not a perpetual Armageddon where you have one side, and this is not a both sides thing. This is a problem with the Republican Party. And this is the party that was ultimately of Lincoln and Reagan and Eisenhower and the Bushes. And there are many people who have many objections to those figures. But it was a rational actor within the constitutional system. Right now, it's not. And, in foreign policy speak, you always try to figure out, is there a rational actor in a negotiation? Right now, there's not a rational actor. The Republican Party is not acting in a rational way. So what do? You make the case, right? And the case I would make is that conservatives say they love history. So let's talk about history. The history of the United States, the reason this, I believe, continues to be an experiment worth defending is because it has been devoted to an idea that, in fact, we are all created equal and are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. And we adjudicate our differences. We struggle. We, in the words of Theodore Parker, adopted by Dr. King, we try to bend the arc of a moral universe toward justice. Sometimes it bends toward justice, sometimes it doesn't. And it only bends toward justice when we have more people like Margaret Chase Smith and fewer people like Joe McCarthy and more people like John Lewis and fewer people like Bull Connor. And that's the only way a democracy shifts is A, people argue for the truth, and B, everybody accepts the rules. We can control the first, we can tell the truth. Getting folks to obey the rules has to be the focus, I think, of the next 2 years, heading into what could be a very chaotic 2024 election. And if you are a conservative and you think that by supporting this Trump-fed worldview, where it doesn't matter really who wins, I should win, and therefore I'm going to rip apart the system, you are acting ahistorically. You are not acting within the best traditions of the United States. You are, in fact, supporting the kind of system that we have projected power again and again abroad to defeat. That is now the enemy here, and it's what we have to fight.